You can read English. You can understand English vocabulary lists. You have practiced writing simple sentences. But then, a real-life situation happens. Someone asks you for directions, or you need to order a coffee, and suddenly, your mind freezes. There is a huge gap between the English you know in your head and the English you can use in the moment. Today, we close that gap. Today, we turn theory into practice. Welcome back to Day 6 of the 10-Day English Challenge with AI. I'm your host, Scarlett. You have been building an amazing foundation and vocabulary. Today, we move from learning to doing. We are going to turn your personal English gym into a world simulator, a safe place where you can practice real-life conversations until they feel easy and natural. Our mission for Day 6 is to build your real-world confidence. First, we will understand the power of role-playing to prepare you for any situation. Second, we will learn the exact prompts to simulate 4 essential, practical scenarios with your AI tutor. And finally, for our language focus, we will master using modal verbs like can, could, and would to sound polite and natural in your interactions. Part 1. From the classroom to the real world. Let's begin by talking about the difference between knowledge and skill. Knowing the rules of grammar is knowledge. Knowing 1,000 vocabulary words is knowledge. But using that grammar and that vocabulary in a fast, real-time conversation is a skill. And the only way to build a skill is through practice. Remember David's story? The moments that truly built his confidence were not when he finished a chapter in a book. They were the small, successful, real-world interactions he had with customers. When he understood a question and gave a helpful answer, that small victory gave him the motivation to keep going. He was turning his knowledge into a skill. But practicing in the real world can be scary. What if you make a mistake? What if the other person gets impatient? This is where role-playing becomes your secret weapon. Role-playing is the bridge that connects the safety of the classroom to the reality of the street. It allows you to practice a real situation in your safe English gym with your patient AI partner. You can make mistakes, you can ask for help, and you can build your conversational reflexes without any real-world pressure or consequences. Part 2. Your AI role. Play simulator. It's time to turn your AI into an actor that can play any role you want. I am going to show you how to set up 4 common and essential scenarios. For each one, I will give you a powerful prompt to start the simulation. Let's begin with our first and most common scenario: ordering food in a restaurant. Imagine you are on vacation and you walk into a nice cafe. To start this simulation, open your AI chat and type this prompt. Let's role-play a scenario. You are a waiter in a restaurant, and I am a customer. Please start by asking me what I would like to order. Use simple, A2 level English. The AI will then begin the conversation. It might say, "Good evening. Welcome. What can I get for you today?" Now, it's your turn. You can practice key phrases like, "Can I see the menu, please?" Or, "What do you recommend?" Or, I would like to have the chicken sandwich. You can go through the whole conversation, from ordering your food and drinks to asking for the bill at the end. It's a perfect way to practice. Now for our second scenario. Asking for directions. This is a situation every traveler experiences. To practice this, you can use this prompt. Let's role play. I am a tourist in a new city, and I am lost. You are a helpful local person. I will start the conversation. Then, you can begin by typing your first line. For example, "Excuse me, could you please help me?" The AI will respond, "Of course. How can I help?" And you can practice asking, I am looking for the main train station. Could you tell me how to get there? The AI will then give you simple directions, and you can practice understanding phrases like, turn left, go straight ahead, and, it's on the corner. Let's move to our third scenario, one that can be a little intimidating, shopping and bargaining. Imagine you are in a market and you want to buy a souvenir. You can use this prompt to start. Let's role-play shopping. You are a shopkeeper in a market, and I am a customer. I want to buy a t-shirt. Please start the conversation. The AI might say, Hello, welcome to my shop. How can I help you? You can then practice important questions like, How much is this t-shirt? Or, Do you have this in a different color? If it is appropriate for the culture, you could even practice polite bargaining by asking, Is there any discount? This is a fantastic way to practice talking about numbers and money. Finally, let's try a more advanced scenario to really build your confidence. Handling a complaint. This is a situation like the ones David faced. Let's practice. Use this prompt. Let's role-play a more difficult situation. I am a customer in your electronics shop. The headphones I bought yesterday are broken. I want to return them. You are the helpful store employee. You can start the conversation. The AI will begin, maybe by saying, Good morning. How can I help you? You can then practice explaining the problem clearly and politely. Hello. I bought these headphones here yesterday, but I am afraid they are not working. Then, you can practice asking for a solution. Could I please get a refund? Or, would it be possible to exchange them? Practicing difficult situations like this in your English gym makes the real ones feel much less scary. Part 3. Language focus. Excellent work. Let's move on to our language focus for day 6. First, let's look at our 10 new vocabulary words. Our first word is scenario. A scenario is a description of a possible situation. For example, today we are practicing 4 different real-life scenarios. Another example is, the team planned for a worst-case scenario. Our second word is to role-play. To role-play means to act out a part in a simulated situation. For example, it is very helpful to role-play a job interview before the real one. Another example is, we will role-play the conversation with a partner in class. Our third word is interaction. An interaction is communication or action between 2 or more people. For example, role-playing helps you practice your social interactions in English. Another example is, I enjoyed my interaction with the friendly staff. Next, we have practical. Practical means relating to real situations and actions, not just ideas or theories. For example, this lesson focuses on practical English skills you can use every day. Another example is, he gave me some very practical advice. Our fifth word is to handle. To handle a situation means to deal with it or manage it successfully. For example, we practiced how to handle a customer complaint. Another example is, she is very good at handling pressure. The sixth word is complaint. A complaint is a statement that you are unhappy or not satisfied with something. For example, the customer made a complaint about the cold food. Another example is, my biggest complaint is the lack of parking. Our seventh word is directions. Directions are instructions that tell you how to get to a place. For example, I stopped and asked a police officer for directions. Another example is, can you give me directions to your house? Next, we have to order. In a restaurant, to order means to ask for food or drinks. For example, are you ready to order your main course? Another example is, I think I will order the spaghetti. Our ninth word is to simulate. To simulate means to create a model or imitation of a real situation, often for practice. For example, we use AI to simulate conversations. Another example is, pilots train in a machine that simulates flying a real plane. And our final word is response. A response is something that is said or written as a reply. For example, I was happy with the AI's quick and helpful response. Another example is, I am still waiting for a response to my email. Now for our grammar focus. Today, we are learning about modal verbs for politeness. Modal verbs are special helping verbs, like can, could, would, and may. We use them to change the tone of our sentences, and they are essential for sounding polite in the scenarios we practiced. Let's start with can and could. We use them to ask for permission or to ask someone to do something. For example, can I see the menu? Can I see the menu? This is okay, but using could is often softer and more polite. Could I see the menu, please? Sounds a little more formal. When asking for help, could you help me? Is a very polite and effective phrase. Next, let's look at would. We use would to make polite offers and to ask about preferences. The waiter in the restaurant might ask, would you like something to drink? And you can respond by saying, I would like a glass of water. Please. Using would like is much more polite than saying, I want. You can also use it to ask for advice. What would you recommend? Using these simple words can, could, and would will make your English sound much more natural and polite in your daily interactions. Part 4. Practice tips for the 4 skills. To get the most out of your role-playing, here are some extra tips. For listening, after you finish a role-play conversation, you can ask your AI this. Can you please give me a full transcript of our conversation? Read the transcript and pay close attention to the phrases the AI used. These are often very natural and useful phrases that you can use in your next practice session. For speaking, the most important tip is this. Say your lines out loud. Don't just type your response in the chat. The goal is to build the connection between your brain and your mouth. Speaking the words aloud builds muscle memory and prepares you for the speed of a real conversation. For reading, before you try a new scenario, you can ask your AI to prepare you. You can use this prompt. Please give me a short example script of a typical conversation between a customer and a cashier in a supermarket. By reading the script first, you will learn the common phrases and the flow of the conversation. And for writing, after you finish a role play, take 2 minutes to write about it in your daily journal. You could write, "Today, I practiced asking for directions. I learned the phrase, 'Could you tell me how to get to?' I felt a little nervous, but it was fun." This helps you remember what you learned. Part 5. Your Day 6 Challenge. You have done an amazing job today, moving from knowing English to using English. Let's finish up in Part 5. Let's quickly summarize our lesson. First, we learned that role-playing is the perfect bridge between theory and the real world. Second, we learned the specific prompts to simulate 4 essential life scenarios: ordering food, asking for directions, shopping, and handling a complaint. And finally, we mastered how to use modal verbs like could and would to sound more polite. We also learned 10 practical words for these situations. Let's remember them. Scenario, to role play, interaction, practical, to handle, complaint, directions, to order, to simulate, and response. You are no longer just a person who studies English words. You are now a person who practices English conversations. The more you practice in the safety of your English gym, the less scary and more familiar the real world will feel. You are preparing yourself for success. Now, it's time for your Day 6 challenge task. Your mission is to choose just one of the 4 scenarios we practiced today and do a short 5-minute role play with your AI tutor. Order a coffee, ask for directions to the post office, or return a broken t-shirt. After you are done, come back to the comments and write, Day 6. Complete. I practiced, and tell us the scenario you chose. If you are committed to making this practice a part of your life, show your energy by smashing that like button. Be a hero for a friend by sharing this video with someone you know is preparing for a trip. And to lock in your commitment to this challenge, subscribe and smash that notification bell. You don't want to be late for your workout on Day 7. Tomorrow, on Day 7 of our challenge, we are going to focus on your speaking fluency and pronunciation. I will show you how to turn your AI into a personal speaking coach to help you sound clearer and more natural. You don't want to miss it. I will see you tomorrow for Day 7. Keep practicing.